Hi guys, welcome back to 12 Acres. Today is Saturday, so we got a full day of working. I know you guys probably won't be watching this until Sunday or Monday, but it was another hot day today. We did put close to 8 hours in again though, maybe even more than 8 hours, somewhere around there. So let's take a look and see what we got done.
We began our day by doing the final touches on the house wrap on the south side of the front of the house. We want to make sure all the seams are secure and taped, and then we moved on to redoing 2 of the windows upstairs. Now, after the fire, most of our upstairs windows were broken during the firefight process, and we actually had windows donated to us for the upstairs. So we did have those put in immediately after the fire. However, since we didn't remove the siding and do the house wrap and flashing and all that the way you're supposed to do around windows to make sure that they're waterproof, we have to pull those out and redo them properly. So we got that done today. And then we worked on the siding up along the side of that south side of the front. And there were some more difficult cuts to get around that porch roof right there. So that took a lot of time to get those just right. My husband is very particular about this siding, and he really takes his time to make sure that it looks really good and that it is as perfect as we can get it. I think if we would have hired someone out, it would not have turned out as good as it's turning out. They would not have put the level of care into it that we're doing. One thing I do want to explain to you about is our trim for the windows and corners. We did not realize that they sell thicker trim than what we got, so we actually have to build up our trim to make it more substantial so that it sticks out further than the siding does. So I'm going to explain how we do that. We actually use this 3/8 inch plywood, and we cut it into 2-inch strips, which we call furring strips. I don't know if that's the correct term for it or not, but that's what we call it. And there's the furring strips right there. And we mark it out on the plywood, allowing for some space for the skill saw. And we use these awesome little handy clamps, and it makes it really easy to cut nice straight lines. So I'm going to show you how we do that. We make our marks. In this case, it's I think 3 1/8 inch. And then we put a level or any other straight edge on it and clamp it down. And then that allows us to just run right down the edge with the skill saw. And as long as you cut with the grain of the wood, it cuts really fast and easy. And it allows you to make a lot of those strips in a short amount of time. And they're all perfect. And then what we do is attach them to the back of our trim pieces. We just use our little air gun stapler. Again, we use our clamps to clamp them down into place. I mean, those things have come in so handy for so many different things, it's crazy. But we just staple them on. It's just basically to hold them in place, and then once we actually attach the trim pieces to the house, then you'll use regular nails, which holds it all together. Once it's all stapled together, I will then remove the excess staple that's sticking out the back there. And then all cut edges, whether it's the siding, the trim, or these furring strips, all cut edges get a good coat of exterior primer. And that just gives it an added layer of protection from water. Now back to my husband. But some of these cuts were quite difficult around this porch, and I think he did a really good job on it. I am so pleased with how our house is coming together. It just looks so nice. Just look at that. Look how good that looks. I love it. So moving on to the upper part of that front. We did one little strip here, and then we ended up having to move the scaffolding over to the other side so we could continue on, because we want to make sure that our siding all matches up with, you know, from one side to the other. So we had to finish cleaning off that side. I say we, but my husband had to finish cleaning off that side of the wall. I bag up all the trash, so, you know, we both work at this. But yeah, he makes sure that there's no nails in the wall, and it's all clean, and, you know, no loose pieces of wood or anything, because you want to have a nice, smooth surface for attaching your new siding. I just love how our house is coming out. It looks so nice.
Yeah, that was a bird nest up there in that corner. I'd see him fly in and out all the time. Okay.
You can see my son's little parakeets up in the window. They love looking outside. We're removing these windows upstairs so that we can do the house wrap around the edges and flash them and all that stuff. So that's fun. And now we're going to redo this third window on the front up here and secure all the house wrap. It was a windy day today. Now I wanted to show you from the inside kind of the process of doing these windows. Always the jokester. But we secure the sides with some staples, just to hold it down.
So can you tell the difference between this Lowe's house wrap and the other one? Which one do you like better? Yeah, that's what I thought. And all the edges are taped with Tyvek tape. And then the self-adhesive flashing tape goes along the bottom of the window opening and up the sides a few inches. You want me to take that Tyvek tape? The wind's gonna mess you up. What do you mean to do? Now this stuff does not stick real well. It sticks to itself really good, but it does tend to peel off other things. So in addition to this, we also place more Tyvek tape along the edges of this flashing just to make sure that it stays. I don't think there's anything wrong with going the extra mile to make sure that it's going to keep water out. Now before we can put the new window back in, we have to make sure that the opening is clear of any old caulking. So we get it all scraped off and clean the edges, make sure that there's nothing that will hold it up from going in smoothly.
Hi, baby girl. You came up here to see me? You're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. Yes, you.
And now this opening is ready for its window. And there it goes. Trust me, it took longer than it looks. Make sure that it's all flush and straight, and that the window opens and closes and it's all level, and then we reattach it with screws. Now I wanted to show you our walls. Our walls have 3/4 inch tongue and groove on the inside, as well as 3/4 inch siding on the outside, with of course true 2x4 centers. Look at that, almost 5.5 inches. Our house is so good and thick and well built. I just love it. From this view, you can see our yard. Of course, it's messy. There's my garden, full of weeds.
Well, as usual, we did not get as far as we would have liked. Wow, he is right. That house wrap is going downhill. Oh well, as long as it's all covered. So we got the house wrap most of the way done on this upper area. There's still some edges that have to be tacked down because we have to get up in there and get our new soffits. So we couldn't, finish everything up there. However, we did get the windows reset, all of the flashing done around them. Gosh, it doesn't seem like we did much today, but we were out here all day long. Anyway, so we actually started, you could see this little tiny strip right here, little tiny piece of siding that we put here. However, we started panicking, worrying that it's not gonna line up with what we end up with over here. So he wants to get up further on this side first before we continue on over here to make sure that everything's going to line up where it's supposed to. So that's the update for today. Thanks for stopping by, and be sure to check in later for some more updates. Bye.